So you want to go on a big international trek and you don't know where to start? Let's talk about it. I am Pony, aka Wandering Pony. I have hiked to Everest Base Camp. I have hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Later this year, I'll be going to Scotland to hike the Sky Trail. And then next year, the goal is to summit Kilimanjaro. But the point is, I know booking an international trek can seem overwhelming, so let me just give you the step-by-step so you don't have to think about it. Okay, one of the first things that I would do once you've decided like where you want to go, look up the fitness level and make sure that it is in accordance with what you're already doing. Or if it's not, give yourself time to train before you go. And I have said this before and I am saying it again, especially if you're going to base camp, train stairs. Mountains have this tendency to have lots and lots of stairs. And the second day of base camp, you're gonna do them for hours. So I'm just telling you, train stairs if you don't already. Once you've decided where you want to go, start looking at trekking companies. So I personally have experience with Intrepid and G Adventures, and both were very positive experiences. I do recommend them, but there's a lot of them out there. So see, there's very different prices, very different ways they run things, different amenities. Like a lot of them, if you want pickup from the airport, drop off, they'll book a hotel for you. So totally worth like checking it out and seeing which company has good reviews and has what you're looking for. Okay, so the technical like red tape kind of stuff that nobody really likes to deal with. But one, visas. Not every country requires a visa. Look it up. Depends where you're going, depends where you're coming from. Sometimes you can get it once you're there, like at the airport. Sometimes it's a good idea to get it in advance. So you're just gonna have to evaluate depending where you're going. Vaccines. Okay, if you look at the CDC's website, they're gonna tell you they're gonna recommend every vaccine you've ever heard of, and it just looks overwhelming. So find a travel clinic in your area, tell them where you're going, and they will give you the recommended vaccinations for that area. It could be none, it could be a whole bunch. Sometimes even when they're not required, it's still a good idea to get them just to give yourself the best chance of success on your trip. But yeah, I would schedule that as soon as you can because sometimes vaccines can be expensive. Traveler's insurance. Now, a lot of tour groups are going to require this, and a lot of tour groups have relationships with specific travel insurance companies, so they might be able to get you a deal. It's worth it to have it anyway, honestly, but make sure that your travel insurance company knows what you're doing and that you're trekking, and in the event that you need helicopter rescue or something like that, make sure they know that you're not just going to sit by the pool and drink. But usually, in my experience, travel insurance is not that expensive. Flights, I would say buy as soon as possible, but I know that's annoying because they're going to change your flight times a whole bunch of times if you do it really far in advance, but it is what it is. Anybody who's ever booked a flight knows you'll probably get a better price if you do it far out in advance. And a lot of the times, I think if you're leaving the country, you're going to end up on an airline you might not be familiar with, so look up the reviews and go with the best one you can. Sometimes I think it's worth it to spend a little bit more just to go with a company that you think is going to give you a better experience. Gear. Now, if you're already a hiker, you probably have a bunch of gear, and that's awesome. So you're probably already, mostly ready. But things to look into to make sure that you're ready, what are the temperatures going to be when you're there? Do you need super warm stuff? Is your sleeping bag sufficiently warm if you need one? Do you need to bring water purification tablets or a filtration system? Remember that at cold temperatures, that bladder that so many people love is going to freeze, so something to think about. But just getting the right gear for the right occasion, do you need boots? Do you need waterproof? Just to be ready for everything. And of course, emergency cash. A lot of travel companies will have a specific amount they'll tell you, you need to bring X amount of dollars in case of emergency. I would advise bringing more than that, but just have that set aside and ready to go. Don't forget that's just one more expense that you need to plan for. Okay, so if you've picked your hike, you're physically ready, you've got your gear, you've got your visa, you've got your vaccinations if you need them, and you've got your insurance, your tour company, you've arranged with them flights and hotels, you're pretty much good. Now you can just enjoy the hike. So again, I am Wandering Pony, wishing you happy hiking and safe travels. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I hope you found this video helpful.